Okay, part 2. Sorry about that. Apparently we have too many games for the kids on the iPads. So, you can see that these are going to cancel, right? -4 and +4. So we just have -4x here. And if it helps you, you can write it like that so that you can get all of that information again. Vertex, focus, directrix, points on the LR, and then we're going to graph. So the vertex, remember that you're looking for the x-coordinate first, always. Ordered pairs are x-coordinate first, right? So h comma k is 0 comma 2. The focus, we're going to use this -4, which is -4a. -4 equals 4a. I think I said that wrong. That number is always the 4a. So whatever that is equals 4a. You can solve by dividing both sides by 4 and see that a is -1. Now personally, when I'm looking for the focus, it's always easier for me to see a graph. I don't know what this graph is going to look like. Over 0 up 2 is the vertex. So I'm going to plot the vertex there. And then I know that the negative indicates, no, this is the same as the last one, right? So this negative here and the y being squared are what tells me that it opens left again. So this time, I know it's opening left. The axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex like that. So I'm going to go 1 unit to the left for my focus. And that point is -1 comma 2. Right? -1 comma 2. So 1 point to the left. And then with knowing that it's opening this way, the directrix is behind the parabola. The focus is on the inside. So I know the directrix is going to go 1 unit that direction. So the directrix is always perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. Okay, so this is the directrix, and that equation is x equals 1. And then again, to find the LR, I'm going to use the ordered, the x-coordinate of the focus. Now, if it opened up or down, the y values would be the same. So I would plug in for the y. A little trick, you're always plugging in for the term that's not squared. The focus, either x or y, you're plugging into the one that is not squared. So I'm going to plug the x of the focus into either of these equations here. So for the LR, I'm going to go y minus 2 squared equals -4 times the x of the focus. So write this down, please. The lattice rectum points come by plugging in either the x or the y of the focus, and we plug it into the term that is not being squared. Because if it was the term that was being squared, we wouldn't get this plus or minus, and we would only have 1 ordered pair. We need 2 ordered pairs. So I end up with y minus 2 squared equals 4. I take the square root of both sides. Don't forget the plus or minus. That's the whole point. And then I always recommend writing these separately, plus or minus, right? Add the 2, add the 2. Okay, I had plugged in x equals -1, and I got out these ordered pairs. Or I got out these y values, I should say. I plugged in -1, and I got out 0 and 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Some of you will find a pattern that connects this number here to something specific about the lattice rectum. Totally okay for you to use that if you find that pattern. I just don't like complicating things, and I feel like that complicates them. So over -1 up 4 and over -1 up 0. And there's my parabola. Okay. And then one more thing. Let me see if we can do this really fast, if we even need it. Yeah, we should do that really fast. Okay. I'm supposed to be on a meeting right now, but Well, that's all right. This is more important. Find the equation of the parabola. So they're going to give you a graph. The graph is given and the ordered pairs are labeled. Oopsie. Whoops. That was supposed to go through that. Let's pretend that I didn't do that because I'm rushing. Okay. So what we need to recognize is two things. This is HK. The parabola opens up. So using your notes from last time, since it opens up, we know that the x is going to be squared. So we're going to use this equation from last time. Okay. We're going to plug in the h and the k right there. And then we also need to recognize that this is just an x and y, any old x and y. So I'm going to plug in 0 for the x and 1 for the y, and then the rest of the equation is going to stay the same. Okay, my point in doing this is finding the a, the value of a, because the a is the only thing I don't know. I know the h and the k. So this is -1 squared equals 4a times 2. Yeah, 1 minus -1. So that's 1 equals 8a. Divide both sides by 8 to get the a by itself. And we get a equals 1/8. Okay, so that's the first step. Find the a value. The next step then is just writing the equation. So I'm going to go back to this original. And I know all of the stuff. I know the h and the k, and now I know the a because I found it, and the x and the y are going to stay. So I'm going to go x minus h squared equals 4 times a, and then y minus the k, minus -1. 4 times 1/8 is that. And that's all we got to do. Don't multiply that out. Don't do anything crazy. We're all set.